However, that feeling that the other people are experiencing is also real, which is that stop gaslighting us right now. And if you keep doing it, I've gotten emails from, and I'm not a pro-Trump person at all, from people who are saying, if people keep doing this, I'm thinking about rage voting for Trump. That is a terrible outcome.
That's liberal writer and Democrat Matt Welch snapping on CNN and calling out establishment media for continuously gaslighting the American people with their politically biased BS. Welcome to Nerk News, I'm Nerkish, and it looks like the abomination created by liberal elites is out of control once again. Because even rank-and-file shills are starting to notice the damage its corruption is doing to their own party. The only real question is, who do they think's been giving it orders?
And my friends in the media and my friends who are in the Democratic Party need to grapple with this point, and I know that they won't, or I fear that they won't, which is that there's a whole swath of America out there who feels like they have been systematically gaslit about Joe Biden and his age. Yep. There have been segments. There have been people who work in this building who have written browbeating things about the New York Times, even polling on the issue of whether Biden is too old. Like, that's pretty controversial, New York Times. I'm not sure you should do that. It's in March of this year that between Robert Hur coming out and people such as Kamala Harris saying that Robert Hur's thing was clearly politically motivated, she said, and obviously inaccurate. She said that in February. So to come off after all of this, and then suddenly a bad debate, everything gets scrambled up, and then Kamala comes, and we see 1 week of flowing and gushing, yes, reflection of the euphoria that is real that people are experiencing. And I actually am happy that people are experiencing euphoria. However, that feeling that the other people are experiencing is also real, which is that stop gaslighting us right now. And if you keep doing it, I've gotten emails from, and I'm not a pro-Trump person at all, from people who are saying, if people keep doing this, I'm thinking about rage voting for Trump. That is a terrible outcome.
You've got to love the blank stares from the useless talking heads on CNN as he's pointing all of this out. And how, even in his indictment, he's pretending that the euphoria for Kamala Harris is somewhat organic and not hopeless desperation being manipulated by elites and overblown by the media. Regardless, the fact of the matter is, they can't maintain this lie for much longer. I mean, news cycles are incredibly short now, and conservatives are starting to run ads like this, highlighting the hypocrisy of pretend journalists.
There are reports that say that you have the lowest approval rating of any vice president. Well, there are polls that also say I have great approval ratings.
Swing voters don't like Harris. How big a drag is Kamala Harris on the ticket?
She's a pretty big drag. I think she was arguably Biden's worst political decision.
They don't like her. There's lots of reasons they don't like her.
Kamala Harris's approval rating is now at 28%, which is an historic low for any modern vice president.
We're hearing it from mainstream media, one outlet after another, one leak after another. The Kamala Harris is the worst vice president ever, the worst politician ever.
We don't see the vice president. What people are saying to me, and I'm sure they're saying it to you, where's the vice president? Some White House officials are feeling that she came off looking unprepared for inevitable questions about when she might visit the southern border.
We've been to the border.
You haven't been to the border.
And I haven't been to Europe. And I don't understand the point that you're making.
The point that Lester Holt was making was obvious to anyone else who was watching this interview, which is that the issues at the border are inextricably linked with the portfolio that she's been given.
He picked Kamala Harris to be his running mate. She was ranked. It is ranked as the most liberal senator in the United States Senate. So he could have gone the other way, but he went to the left.
Joe Biden is running for re-election, and I will be his ticket mate. Full stop. Full stop.
It's only a matter of time until the curtain drops again. Sooner or later, liberals are just going to have to confront the fact that Harris isn't popular. She's been super evasive since the announcement that Biden was dropping out and hasn't given a major press conference. This whole thing is basically a media fabrication. I mean, just look at these clips from the last 2 appearances she made. One is her reading a brief statement from a binder before ignoring questions and giving a pathetic salute to the military, and the other is her delivering one of her classic word salads next to our sharp-as-ever cadaver-in-chief.
Madam Vice President, will you be meeting Evan and Paul when they return?
This is just an extraordinary testament to the importance of having a president who understands the power of diplomacy and understands the strength that rests in understanding the significance of diplomacy and strengthening alliances. It's an incredible day, and you can see it in the families, in their eyes, and in their cries.
Call me crazy, but the media might have a little more credibility if it focused on things like this instead of TikTok videos that Democrats likely paid for. I mean, isn't it weird how no one is following up on Biden stepping down? There were legitimate rumors about it being more than what Democrats are making it out to be, and we hear zilch because reporters want to know what brat means. The fact that they're willing to continue gaslighting even after normally liberals see this stuff is a bit concerning. But let me know what you think. Will the media cranking their lies to 11 eventually backfire and hurt Democrats in the long run? Let me know in the comments, and if you enjoyed this video, please give it a like and subscribe to the channel. That stuff really does help us out. Until then, this has been Nerk News. Thanks for watching. Bye!